Home with God. Chapter 1. Everybody is doing everything for themselves. When you understand that this is true even about dying, you will never fear dying again. 1. It is impossible to live or to die without God, but it is not impossible to think that you are. If you think that you are living or dying without God, you will experience that you are. You may have this experience as long as you wish. You may end this experience whenever you choose. I believe those are holy words. I believe they came directly from God. Those words have been floating around in my mind for the past 4 years. I see now that they were my invitation, an invitation from God for a larger conversation. You're right. I wanted to make sure that we had this larger conversation, and so I placed those words in your mind every time you thought seriously about life or death, even for a moment. This is a conversation you've been reluctant to have and have put off repeatedly. Yes, I know it's not that I'm afraid to talk deeply about life or even about death. It's just that these are very complex subjects, and I wanted to make sure I was really prepared to enter into a huge conversation about them. I wanted to be psychologically and, well, I guess spiritually ready. Do you feel that you are now? I hope so. I can't keep putting off this conversation forever. Even if I tried, you'd just keep placing those words into my head. That's right, I would. Because those are the words I want you to hear, even if you never get to the rest of the conversation. Okay, I've heard them. I want you to hear them over and over again. It is impossible to live or to die without God, but it is not impossible to think that you are. If you think that you are living or dying without God, you will experience that you are. You may have this experience as long as you wish. You may end this experience whenever you choose. Those words convey all that anyone who is afraid of living or dying will ever need to know. Then we can end the conversation right here. We can. How deep do you wish to go in your higher understanding? Should you choose to continue with this conversation, I will present you with 100 more words, 100-word formula for all of life. Well, there's a tease. That's exactly what it was meant to be. And it worked. I'm not about to cut the conversation short now. So here I am having a conversation with God about living and dying again. Yes, but looking at many things that we have never discussed before. Who would believe this? It doesn't matter. You're not having the conversation for anyone else. You're having it for yourself. I have to keep reminding myself of that. So often people will see themselves as doing something for someone else when they're really doing it for themselves. Everybody is doing everything for themselves. When you awaken to this awareness, you will have reached breakthrough. And when you understand that this is true even about dying, you will never fear dying again. And when you no longer fear dying, you will no longer fear living. You will live your life fully, right up until the very last moment. Hold it, wait a minute. You're saying that when I'm dying, I am doing it for myself? Of course. Who else would you be doing it for? Chapter 2, Home with God. Once you answer most of the questions you've ever had about death, you'll have answered most of the questions you've ever had about life. 2. Well, we're off to an interesting start. That's a very intriguing statement. It is the first of many that will appear here. Yet our dialogue will go to places that will not be only intriguing, but for some people unbelievable. Such will be the nature of the remembrances for which you came. The remembrances? It is as I have told you in previous conversations. You have nothing to learn. You have only to remember. The conversation we are about to have, as with all of our conversations, will help you to do that. It will lead you through a series of remembrances about life and death. You will notice that many of these remembrances have to do with death. This is by design. For it is through a deeper understanding of death that you will most quickly reach a deeper understanding of life. Some of these remembrances may be surprising, for they will challenge much of what you thought you knew. Others will not surprise you at all. As soon as you hear them, you will be aware that you knew that all along. Taken together, these remembrances will bring you back to yourself, reminding you of all you need to know in order to experience that you are home with God. Humanity has waited so long to have a new conversation on these larger matters. Most of what we hold in our collective reality is from ages past. We could use some new wisdom here. All human beings are born with all the wisdom of the universe imprinted on their souls. It is in the DNA of everything. Indeed, DNA could very well be used as an acronym for Divine Natural Awareness. Every living thing has this natural awareness built in. It is part of the system. It is part of the process that you call life. This is why, when people are confronted with great wisdom, it often sounds so familiar to them. They agree with it almost at once. There is no argument. There is only a remembering. It is part of their divine natural awareness. It is said to be in their DNA. It feels like, yes, of course. So let us now open this new conversation in earnest, allowing you to remember what you have always known. Let us talk with a fresh voice about these things, in order that you might refresh your cellular memory, that you might find your way home. I can be home with God while I am still alive, can't I? I mean, I don't have to wait until I die to get home, do I? You do not. Then tell me again, so that I can clearly get it. Why will so many of the remembrances have to do with deaths? Death is the biggest mystery of life. Unlocking that mystery unlocks everything. Once you answer most of the questions you've ever had about death, you'll have answered most of the questions you've ever had about life as well. Then you'll know how to be home with God without dying. I've got it. Great. But I advise you not to have an expectation or to set up in your mind a requirement that everyone must get what is being said here. Because if you do, you might wind up editing this conversation in order to be sure that as many people as possible understand it and agree with it. Oh, I wouldn't do that. You could be tempted to if you thought that others might marginalize it or ridicule it. I don't think so. There will be portions of this conversation, especially when we get into discussing the whole cosmology of life, that will seem way out to many people. I have no doubt that the explorations and the mental excursions we're about to undertake will enhance your ability to deeply comprehend what is true about life and death. Yet some of them may seem so far afield and so esoteric that you really could be tempted to edit them out. No, that's not going to happen. My commitment to this conversation is to produce a faithful transcript of it, in its totality, leaving nothing out that you intend to be here. Good. Then let's get on with it. Here is the first remembrance. Dying is something you do for you. That's such an interesting thing to say because I just don't see myself as doing it for anybody. In fact, I don't see dying as something I am doing at all. I see it as something that is happening to me. It is happening to you, and it is happening through you. Everything that is happening to you is happening through you. And everything that is happening through you is happening for you. I just never thought of dying as something that I was doing on purpose, much less something that I was doing for myself. You are doing it for yourself, because dying is a wonderful thing, and you are doing it on purpose, for reasons that will be made clear as we move deeper into this conversation. Dying is a wonderful thing? Yes, what you call death is wonderful. So do not grieve when a person dies, nor approach your own death with sadness or foreboding. Welcome death as you have welcomed life, for death is life in another form. Welcome the death of another with soft celebration and deep happiness, for theirs is a wondrous joy. Here is the way to a peaceful experience of death, your own or that of another. Know that the person dying is always at cause in the matter. And that is the second remembrance. You are the cause of your own death. This is always true, no matter where or how you die.